Fulton, running back to bring civility and stability in my city. Thank you.
There we go. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. All right. And then next, who's running for the mayor of South Fulton is Carmelita Gums. She's not here. All right. So then we'll. Got you. So we'll go next with Araba Dowell.
Hi, my name is, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Araba Dewell Dowell, and I'm running for City Council in South Fulton, District 2. I'm looking to bring fresh leadership to our city. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Next.
Thank you, Dr. Mark, for being here.
Thank you. Next, we have Tashima Freeman.
No. Hey everyone, my name is Tashima Freeman. I am running for the City Council for District 6 of the City of South Fulton. And like the rest of everyone up here, I am running to actually bring real change to our city. We need things in our city, and we're tired of traveling outside of our city to get those things. And we need professionalism. So I'm here to bring back the basics and the things that we all desire. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have Connie Robinson.
Good evening, everyone. I am Connie Robinson, and I am running for City Council District 2. I'm running because, one, we definitely need more transparency and bold leadership. We don't need to continue going with the same status quo. So I've been at the podium, and now I'm ready to sit at the table. So vote for Connie Robinson, City Council District 2.
There we go. There we go.
Can we get Chino up here yeah, he's actually one of our main sponsors. Go ahead, next one.
All right. Next, and then we have Aaron Johnson.
Good afternoon, everyone, or evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Come on now, we are alive. We have all these candidates here trying to get to know you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right, we need to hype this room up.
That are competitive, please reach out to me. You can go to a website at www.cvlending.com, or you can take my number at 470-604-7308. We're also going to be out there, so if you want to meet with me out, I'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Chino. And one last person, I'm going to put her on the spot. She's about to run too. Danya Sartori, put your hand up. She is actually the mayor of Jonesboro. Danya, come up here real quick. Say hi. Danya is actually the first African-American woman mayor in Jonesboro. Yeah. She broke the color line for that city in Clayton County, and she came all the way down from Clayton County to be a part of this. They give her a hard time, but Danya's my girl, and I got her back, like, you know.
Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I just appreciate you all coming out. Congratulations to all the candidates. I know how hard it is. I'm telling you, 2 years ago, I wouldn't wish this for anybody, but we appreciate you all. And I appreciate you all coming to hear and making informed choices. And usually when we have events like this, we're preaching to the choir. You know, if you all come, it's because you all cast your vote, and we don't have to beg and plead for you to do so. So I would just encourage you, as you go home and you take information here, share it with others, but more importantly, get people to the polls and continue to stress, not just in election season, but when we have conversations about the importance of voting in non-election season, it makes it a lot easier when it rolls around and it's time to cast the vote. So I would just encourage you all to do that. Again, thank you so much. And thank you, Ricky, and your entire team for bringing forums like this. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
No further ado, we will introduce how you want to do it, because you're the MC. So,
All right, so yes, we're going to have a great conversation tonight. I'm glad that everybody is out here. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to give a kind of a brief how the event's going to go. We're going to...
Sorry, go ahead.
Everything good?
Everything?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so we're going to introduce the candidates. Candidates are going to come up, and then we're going to have a little bit of an icebreaker. I'm going to ask them some trivia questions about Georgia, see how well you guys know Georgia, break the ice a little bit, and then we'll get right into the questions. And then so for the candidates, we're going to try to keep our answers to 2 minutes, so that way we can give everybody some time to answer, but then also keep the pace of the questions and things like that going. So without further ado, I'm going to step to the side and introduce. All right, so the first introduction, we have Michael L. Thurman. He is a longtime Georgia public servant, attorney, author, and community leader with a 4-decade track record in state and local government. He served as Georgia's labor commissioner from 1999 to 2011 and was the Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate in 2010. He later led DeKalb County as its elected chief executive officer, overseeing efforts to stabilize finances, modernize infrastructure, restore public trust, and strengthen local services. This year, Mr. Thurman launched his campaign for Georgia governor with a focus on being a bridge builder who can transcend partisan divides and focus on core issues like education, healthcare, and economic security. Y'all want to give him a clap? All right, next up, thank you. Next up, we have Rua Roman. She's a state representative in Georgia's House, District 97, and a rising voice in progressive politics. Born in Jordan to a Palestinian family and raised in the U.S., she is the first Muslim and first Palestinian-American woman to serve in the Georgia legislature. Before entering public service, she worked as a consultant, civic organizer, and co-founded Georgia Volunteer Hub, sponsoring volunteer engagement in elections. In September 2025, she announced her bid for Georgia governor, running on a platform of emphasizing economic justice, healthcare access, housing, and political renewal. Ladies and gentlemen, Rua Roman. All right, and then last but not least, we have Derek Jackson. He is a Georgia state representative serving in District 68 with a background in military service, business, academia, and community leadership. He's a veteran of the U.S. Navy, and he has held leadership roles in the private sector before transitioning into public service. In the past, he also ran for a statewide office, and in June 2025, he formally announced his candidacy for governor of Georgia. His campaign emphasizes values of integrity, economic opportunity, and service-driven government. Ladies and gentlemen, Derek Jackson. Okay, so to break the ice, let's start with a little bit of trivia. So we'll start with Rua. We'll start with you.
Okay, I want to say this before we start the trivia. Please, no one shout out the answer, okay? We want to see how much these candidates actually know Georgia. So we didn't want to make a discussion. We wanted to ask some specific questions about Georgia and see how much they know Georgia. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. Kind of like, yeah, okay.
I'll take hints from the audience.
Okay. All right, please, no one shout out the answer you think is the answer. We want to try to see what they know about Georgia specifically. The history of Georgia.
And it's all fun questions, So the first question, what hit Netflix show was primarily filmed in Georgia, but set in the fictional town of Hawkins, Indiana?
Stranger Things.
Oh, there you go, Stranger Things. I didn't even give the options.
I feel so much better right now.
There you go. Yeah, she got it right. Stranger Things. I was going to give multiple choice options, but she hit the nail on the head. There you go. All right, next one for you. So how many counties are in the state of Georgia?
This is for me too?
For you.
Oh, 159 counties.
There you go. She doesn't even need the multiple choice. She doesn't need the multiple choice.
I'm feeling so much better. I don't want to test my luck. Can we go? Can we let these guys have some spotlight?
Oh, listen, everybody gets 3 questions.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, everybody gets 3 questions. I got you. So your last question is, in what year did Georgia become a state?
I literally almost looked that up when you said trivia.
I can give you the, I was like, okay, we have 1776, 1778, 1788, or 1790.
I feel like 1776 was one of the original 13 colonies.
Close. It was 1788.
Yeah. I knew I'd mess up the dates. I literally knew I was going to mess that one up, but it's
all
fine.
Good,
we got
all
it.
good. Good fun.
That
good
one
fun.
should have gone to my colleague over here. He's our history buff.
Okay, Rua is 2 for 1. 2 for 1 record.
All right, now let's go with Derek Jackson. I got some questions for you. Ready, man?
Oh my goodness. Ricky. You didn't say trivia was tonight.
All right, first question. The University of Georgia football team won back-to-back national championships in which years? 2017 and 2018, 2021, 2022, 2019, 2020, or 2022 and 2023?
These dogs.
Got that national championship.
No.
Back to back.
Back to back. And I'm a football family too. 17 and 18?
Close. 21, 22.
No.
It's the year I got elected. Yep.
Is this microphone on? Yeah. Check microphone.
Technicalities.
All good, all good. All right, next question. Which famous musician born in Albany, Georgia, sang the iconic song Georgia on My Mind?
Georgia. Georgia. Listen,
Is it you? I'm just kidding.
Ray Charles.
There you go, Ray Charles. I didn't even have to give the multiple choice. You got it. You got it. All right, last
Listen, I had to get that one right because my wife is from Albany.
Oh, got to do it.
So I had to get that one right.
Got to do it. Got to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. Who was the first African American to be elected to the U.S. Senate from Georgia? We have Andrew Young, Raphael Warnock.
Warnock.
There you go. Warnock. All right.
Wait on that one, Aaron. Wait on that one.
Okay, so everybody is 2-1. Can
All right.
Mr. Thurman be 3-0?
Let's see.
It's all on you.
Stop.
This man wrote a book. I just want to point out, just unfair advantage over here.
Can he do 3-0? Break. To be a tiebreaker. 3-0.
All right. Let's see what you got. Okay. So which Georgia city elected the first African American mayor of a major southern city? Which Georgia city elected the first African American mayor of a major southern city? We have Savannah, Augusta, Atlanta, or Macon.
Oh, man. Is there a time limit? You're
getting close. You're getting close.
All right, Atlanta.
There you go. Atlanta, it was Maynard Jackson in 1973. All right. Let's moving on. We have which Georgia city is the birthplace of legendary soul singer James Brown? All right, we have Macon, Savannah, Augusta, or Columbus.
You know, I went to college. Yeah, over at Payne. What city is Payne College in?
No one can help him.
Augusta.
There you go. Good job.
It's a man's world.
Sorry, y'all. I'm not going to sing for you.
If you get this one right, you 3-0.
But Dane Allen was my mentor, though. Y'all, this serious. Yep, he used to let me go pick his cars that we would ride in every day. And I still had a black power watch that James Brown gave me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Got a little fist for the second hand. I didn't do that.
All right, last trivia
Wait a minute.
question.
It's two. If I get the next one, what does it mean?
If you get the next one,
It doesn't mean nothing, right?
It means you know Georgia. You know Georgia.
All right, last one we have. Who was the only U.S. president born in Georgia?
Really?
I'm not going to even answer that. No.
Give him a harder one.
Give him a harder one. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got. You got the answer? Did I take it too easy, y'all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at Senator Wicks. She want a harder question. James Earl. Carter. Carter. His middle name is Earl.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
His middle name is Earl. James Earl Carter.
The room literally panicked. Everyone's like, wait a minute, what?
All right, all right. Great way to break the ice. So now we're going to get into some questions for the candidates. And so as a quick reminder, if you could, just remember there's a camera in the aisle. So if you have to step into the aisle, just try to not linger in the aisle for too long so that way the camera can still pick up the candidates. So first question that we're going to dive into, and then we'll start with Ms. Rua Roman to answer the question. So the first question is,
I'm sorry. For the sake of time, we didn't really start late, but so everybody can speak, we want to try to keep all the answers to 2 to 3 minutes or less. Okay?
yes, yes, absolutely. All right, so what is your vision for Georgia's future over the next decade, economically, socially, and culturally? And what are the first major actions that you would take in your first 100 days to make that vision real?
So thank y'all so much for having us tonight. It means a lot to me to be given the opportunity to speak to y'all. And the reason I'm running for office, particularly this office, is to build a Georgia we can afford and where we all belong. That, to me, is the reality of it. Right now, who represents us on a state level does not look like us, does not live like us, and does not think like us. In fact, they often leave us behind for their special interests and corporate friends. And so what we're doing is we're running and trying to build a movement that is going to fight to raise the minimum wage, reopen hospitals, invest in small businesses, take homes back from corporations, and feed hungry kids. And that last one, by the way, didn't just get added on this week. It's been part of our platform from the day that we launched. And why? Because in a state like ours, where we keep investing in these corporations, we can't leave a single kid hungry. That's the reality of it. And so that's why I'm running. That's what we are building. And so on day one, when you're governor, you get what's called you get floor leaders. And so that is the agenda we're going to present. There are going to be bills ready to go on day one that our floor leaders will introduce to work on all of that. So that's why I'm running. Those are the platforms that we're going to be working on from day one. And again, really honored to be here with y'all tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I was going to give them a chance to answer, everybody a chance to answer. Yeah, so whoever would like to go next, I can repeat the question if you would like.
First off, thank you, Ricky. Thank you, Evans. My platform is very clear and concise. I'm focusing on families, I'm focusing on our rights, and I'm focusing on military. Let's begin with families. And this is even before this big, ugly bill that we're going to be talking about this evening. There's a reason why families are hurting right now, because government continues to change the rules. Government continues to leave families behind. There is a reason why families are in these streets right now, marching and protesting, because government continues to change the rules to the degree to enrich themselves. We don't have to look no further than what's happening in Washington, D.C. No president should impose on their own citizens using the military, intimidating, to where families are so afraid to even go from their house to Publix or Kroger's, depending on which store you go to. No family should be intimidated of losing their job. Over 1 million citizens in the first 10 months of this administration have lost their job. That's the reason why I'm focused on families. As your governor, you will have a governor that not only takes this surplus and reinvests it back into the community immediately, all 159 counties. Quitman is a county that only has a population of 2,400 folks, and they have more deaths than births because government is not focusing on families. Why is it that 82 counties out of 159, you cannot find an OBGYN? Why is it that 67 counties out of 159, you cannot find a pediatrician? 12 counties, you can't find a doctor at all, because you have a government at the state level not focusing on families. We've been fighting for Medicaid expansion for 15 years. That's $7.1 billion. Is being held up in Washington, D.C. because a governor refused to place his signature on a dotted line to immediately expand Medicaid. I would be that governor that I have been demonstrating these last 10 years under that gold dome, fighting for families, fighting for women's rights, LGBTQ rights. All of this is around families. All of this is around our rights. And as a retired lieutenant commander, one who served 22 years, one that restated the oath 17 times, the oath is not an expiration document. You have to have honor, courage, and commitment every day when you're fighting for families. And every day I wake up, I'm thinking about your family as I think about my own.
Okay.
Thank you.
I try to keep mine short. I mean, if we could have, I should have gone on longer.
I don't want to cut nobody off, but we press for time. Mr. Thurman.
Mr. Thurman.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you so much, Ricky, Evan, and the people who organized this, and thank you for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause. This is so wonderful. I'm running for governor because of the people in this room and the people outside of this room who have not given up the fight. We are at the crossroads in the history of America and the history of our nation. What I come here on the South Side to say, don't give up, don't give out, and don't give in. I come to remind all of us that Trump is in the White House, but God is still on his throne. I come to tell you that something must be wrong with me because I ain't angry, I ain't frustrated, I'm not full of anxiety. I'm ready for the fight. And what we have to do is not to grow weary. Every dime that's been cut from SNAP in Washington, D.C., you elect me governor, and we'll put it back in the budget in Atlanta, Georgia. Every dime that's been cut from housing assistance and heating assistance, if you elect me as your next governor and elect men and women like the two sitting next to me, we will put every dime back in the budget here in Atlanta. This is our moment. And see, sometimes people say, well, what is happening? What are we supposed to do? You hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. It's time for us to put boots on the ground in Georgia. It's time for us to put our boots on the ground under the gold dome, in city council, in county commission. And I'll stop, but I'm just telling you, I ain't tired, I ain't scared, and I ain't no ways weary. Let's go fight this fight under the gold dome in 2026.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, so real quick, I have a question. Rua, we'll start with you, and then we can.
I'm happy to share the wealth.
First and foremost, Michelle, can you stand up, please? Michelle is the president of Georgia RIA. Georgia RIA is an investment.
Michelle, give her a round of applause.
Georgia RIA stands for Georgia Real Estate Investment Association. We have over 1,000, 2,000 members who are real estate investors. I'm a real estate investor. My partner, John Heisler, put your hand up, John. Me and him own a lot of commercial real estate together. So Rua, Derek, and Mr. Thurman, I'll start off with you. Real estate has gotten crazy in Georgia, okay? When I moved here 24 years ago, you used to buy a house for $100,000 for a nice house. Now, I think the average median house, decent house, you probably spend like $400,000 or $500,000. How do you see that? Because I feel like Georgia can't afford that, right? Because a lot of people can't even afford to buy anymore because the houses are so high. And even the poor neighborhoods now, people can't even afford to live in their house or move from their house. I have a nice house, and I wouldn't even move from my house because I think I can afford it. How do you see that can change? Can that change? Will it change? Will you help to make it change? Talk about that, please.
Absolutely. So thank you for asking that question. One of our main parts of our campaign is to take homes back from corporations. And the reason is that a lot of these corporations are coming in and buying up these homes in cash. They're telling their investors, let's buy them at a higher cost to outbid families like ourselves from being able to buy those homes. And they turn around and they rent those homes for an insane price. No one can live like that. No one can afford that anymore. And this actually happened to me and my husband when I went to grad school in DC for a couple of years. And when we moved back, we actually kept getting outbid by corporation after corporation after corporation. The only reason we got into our house is the agent was so aggressive, it scared the family off. That was it. It was pure luck that we were able to actually afford the home that we live in today. But we shouldn't rely on luck. If you work hard and you do what's right, you should be allowed to buy a home. You should be able to buy a home. And so for me, what I'm saying is that there have been a lot of corporations, particularly large, what's called investment firms, that have come in and outbid all of us. And they're raising the prices, which means your property taxes are going up, even though the homes aren't being changed or improved, or even the roadways are being improved or anything. Folks can't keep up with their property taxes, so then they get kicked out of their homes, and then they go and they buy those homes too, and it becomes this awful cycle. What we need to do in the state is we need to increase regulations on those properties. Make sure there's someone in the state we can call if there's something wrong with the property. Make sure that we increase or improve the definition of what's called habitable dwellings, meaning that if you own a home you're renting out, that home better be livable, that it shouldn't be infested, that it shouldn't be falling apart, that it shouldn't have mold in it. Right now in our state, most tenants don't have rights. They try to kind of get what little they can, and they can't. And so when you increase those regulations, a lot of those investment companies are then forced to finally let go of those properties and start selling them back to families that need them.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson? Thank you. The affordability of Georgia. Basically, Georgia is becoming too expensive to live, especially like in some areas.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Ricky. The bottom line is we have to increase our wages and salaries. I've been fighting this fight for the last 10 years. In fact, I have House Bill 600. House Bill 600 clearly states that we have our current minimum wage of $5.15, increase it to $15 the first year. The second year, you increase it to $20. The third year, you increase it to $27. When you start earning $27 an hour, then you can afford a lot of things. But you can't do it when it's $5.15. There's a reason why since 2001, our minimum wage has been stuck right there at $5.15. And so that's problem number one. Problem number two, we can't dictate how much you can sell your house for. You can't, right? Because government tried once before, and they ended up picking and choosing winners and losers. And when you have 537 cities, everything can be dictated by Atlanta. We have 537 cities. Let me say that again for this side of the room. 537 cities. And so you have to be able to talk to each mayor and council of those cities and talk to them about their millage rate, talk about the taxes. That's where you start talking about affordability, because I cannot, as governor, tell you what you can and cannot sell your home for. That you can't do that. That's a monopoly. And government cannot be in the business of creating monopolies. So let's talk about something that the governor can do, and that is change this minimum wage so that way the word affordability would become past tense.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Thurman? Yeah, clap it up for that, for both of them. Mr. Thurman, Atlanta, Georgia is becoming so unaffordable. The cost of real estate has been crazy. I think we're like at a 100% markup. What can we do about that? Well, what do you plan on doing about that if you became governor of Georgia?
When I become the next governor, on day one, I will issue an executive order and declare a statewide affordability crisis in the state of Georgia. I've traveled around Georgia, and it's an issue in metro Atlanta, but it's also an issue in rural Georgia as well. I will declare a statewide emergency and direct the commissioner of the Department of Community Affairs to assemble immediately all the top people in my government. And I will sit there and let me tell you what we're going to do. We are going to work with cities and counties as well as developers to build additional multifamily and single family units all across the state of Georgia. My goal immediately will to build 100,000 multifamily and single family units across the state of Georgia in urban, rural, and suburban Georgia. And let me talk about what we've already done. As CEO of DeKalb County, we distributed $55 million in rental assistance for renters because there's an issue in terms of developers and homeowners, but if you are a renter, you're facing rent. People tell me, what, $2,000, $3,000 a month. We distributed $55 million to renters in DeKalb County over a 5-year period. We worked with a local nonprofit, and we set up a $20 million fund to build more affordable housing in South DeKalb County. As your governor, we'll talk the talk, but we're going to also walk the walk and make sure that all citizens will have access to affordable housing. And it's personal to me. I grew up in housing that was quote unquote substandard. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to live in a cold house in the winter. And I will dedicate my every working hour to ensure that every family, every child will have an opportunity to have quality housing, a roof over their head, food on the table. Representative Jackson mentioned something about the minimum wage. I increased the minimum wage in DeKalb County from $10.67 an hour to $17.30 an hour, starting. That's a fact. And that's not a promise. That's a fact. And if we don't appreciate our workers, if we don't fight for the women who are doing and men doing the work, then it's a sin and a disgrace. And I will bring that to our 300,000 employees in state government.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So speaking of the growth and investment, as we know, Georgia's economy is growing, it's thriving, but it's not really growing and thriving, as he alluded to, in all areas. So the question here is, what would be your plan to expand good paying jobs beyond Metro Atlanta and ensure that there is a balanced growth statewide?
Rua?
Okay, all right.
So we're going in order. I don't even know if
That's
that's
fine.
in order.
So what we saw over the past 20 years of GOP rule is that they brought a lot of companies into the state. They gave them a lot of tax breaks, but they didn't necessarily require them to have specific wages, specific percentage of those jobs coming from Georgians. Over time, that did kind of start to change, but not always. And what we're seeing is that the Financial Times has now put Georgia in a recession because so many sectors that we depend on have been attacked by this administration. Film industry, our coastal folks, our agriculture, you name it, whatever it is, it's already been attacked by this administration. And the reason that we are so susceptible to it is we spent so much investments in tax credits and your tax dollars to bring these corporations to the state, but now they're leaving because they can. And what's left? We're left with whatever it is they're leaving behind, sometimes lots of disruption, sometimes lots of pollution, sometimes lots of, destruction in their wake. And so my recommendation, what we want to do, and the reason we want to invest in small businesses in particular, is that means we become a self-sustaining state. It means that our people are the ones that are not only generating the wealth, but the wealth stays here instead of going to shareholders that don't know our names and don't know our stories and could care less about what happens to us. The other thing is, right now we have a really great bond rating. We can actually sell those bonds and invest in things like research hubs to hire some of the folks that have been fired at the CDC to build out things like an addiction research center and a cancer research center that then generates its own revenue to then reopen those hospitals, and suddenly it's investments by Georgians for Georgians instead of constantly bringing folks from out of our state here that then eventually end up leaving. And so when it comes to that sort of economic stability and that economic investment, that's how I look at it. That's how I would change those investments, and I would shift that tax code to accommodate that as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So you finished? Yeah. So my three-point plan is very simple. Very first thing you have to do is build infrastructure. Builders will go where infrastructure exists. And unfortunately, that infrastructure doesn't exist in rural parts of Georgia. 122 counties we consider rural. And so you have to make sure that that infrastructure exists, from broadband, internet, to water and sewage. That's point number one. Point number two, small businesses. I'm the only one talking about empowering small businesses. We have 700,000 small businesses in Georgia. So I'm the only one talking about a $50,000 grant, not a loan, to help you get started. And if you already have a business, that business will be empowered with $50,000 to expand staffing, marketing, etc. And number three, most importantly, can we just start asking the citizens what they would like in their city? Instead of us dropping data centers and all these big developments without even asking the citizens. See, because if we ask the citizen, they'll tell us exactly what they want in their community. When government is starting to drop things into the city, taxpayers, us in this room, have to pay for it. Energy, conservation, all these things start to impact us. pollution, environmental injustice, not justice, right? So can we just start asking the citizen, what would you like? And that's where I would start my 3-point plan. Make sure we have the infrastructure, make sure we're empowering small businesses, and then ask the citizens, what would you like? Because what they want in Atlanta is very different than what they would like in Chris or Cordell or Albany or Savannah or Muskogee or any other place.
Thank you, Representative Jackson. All right, Mr. Thurman.
You want to repeat the question?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So when it comes down to the economic development of the city, what would be your plan to expand good-paying jobs beyond Metro Atlanta and ensure that there is a balanced growth statewide?
Well, first, we have to recognize that there are many areas of Metro Atlanta where there are no paying jobs. And it's not just a rural problem. Now, I'm from rural Georgia. Y'all probably can't tell I'm from the country, but I am. And the first thing you have to do is you have to actually go and sit down with people who actually live and work in rural Georgia. The first investment has to be in public education. As a former school superintendent, we must create multiple pathways to success. If your child decides to go to a 4-year liberal arts school, that's a good thing, nothing wrong with that. But we have to recognize that 80% of our students are choosing to do something else. And we have to help students and parents recognize that going to Atlanta Tech or DeKalb Tech is just as honorable and just as respectable as going to Kennesaw State or Georgia Tech. Multiple pathways to success, focus also on skills. I don't know about you all, but in this economy, skills are equally as important as degrees, and sometimes more. If you call your plumber lately or your electrician, those skill sets, if your toilet goes out, you don't ask the plumber how much, you just ask what? How soon can you get here? And if you got a career, it's more about how soon than how much you can do well. We have to respect all people. It's not white collar, blue collar, no collar, not the color of the collar, but the green in the dollar. I thought about something last night. Let me say that again. Not the color of the collar, but it's the green in the dollar that makes all the difference. Am I right? What's that, Rome?
Say it faster.
All right. Yeah. See, we get caught up in the color of the collar, but that's not what this economy is about. It's just not. Last thing, let me say this. Last night, I called Ford Motor Credit. And the guy answered the phone. I said, where are you? And he was in India. If we can ship jobs to India, we ought to be able to ship them to Valdosta in Dooley County. And see, we caught up in the geography, but with technology, you can live anywhere. We must have the most AI proficient workforce on the planet. And as your next governor, I'm going to empower all of our technical and 2-year colleges. We're going to send the entire population back to school to get a certificate in AI. Because let me tell you, unless you're proficient and efficient, Amazon laying off 500,000 people. They just announced it. And we have to get our students, but we also have to get us in this room prepared for the 21st century workforce, and that's how we can do it. Think about rural Georgia like you think about India or Taiwan or Japan, and we can have jobs there just like we're shipping them across the seas.
Thank you. Great answers. So I wanted to call attention. You want me to call attention? So you can find this stream on YouTube, on my JBN Online, or on Facebook. You go to Jericho Broadcast Networks. If you want to send it to anybody so they can see it, for people that are not able to be in the room, those are the locations that they can watch this stream on, because it is streaming live right now online. Okay, so the next question, in a similar vein of this, when we talk about the economy growing and jobs spreading throughout the state, what would be your long-term plan to build out the infrastructure? Because we know we have an infrastructure strain on the city. I mean, the traffic is crazy. There's been so many conversations about doing things like expanding MARTA and et cetera. So what would be your long-term plan to strengthen our infrastructure? And probably most importantly, how would you pay for it? Let's switch it up. Let's go with Mr. Jackson first.
So we have a surplus, and that surplus represents your tax dollars. And so when you start talking about, again, so I don't have to reiterate the point that I just made about infrastructure, when you have to look at growth and expansion, you have to make sure that these two words that we all hate, y'all ready? Eminent domain and annexation, right? And we have to stop just taking over your private property and doing what we so will. Because we're seeing that again with the data centers, right? I noticed my big brother, Commissioner Russo, walked in here. That's one of the problems that we're facing right now. And so when you think about infrastructure and you think about growth, because we're going to continue to grow, I know you all keep saying Atlanta is closed, but guess what? It's open because the next 6 years, Atlanta is on the world stage. From Super Bowl to World Cup to NBA to everything. So folks are going to be coming here. So you need a governor that is not only visionary, but understand how to do this. How to make this happen. And I did it in the last 10 years just in District 68. Being able to talk to mayors and county commissioners and making sure that the voice of the people is part of this conversation. So we got to make sure, and I'm going to get away from this cliche stuff. Because this whole thing about if you're not at the table, you're on the table, you're on the menu, we have to have fighters right now. The voice of the people need to be in all of these rooms, in all spaces and places. Because if we don't, we see a government right now from the federal down to the state is encroaching on our rights. And so that's the reason why I'm the only candidate that's qualified to be the chief executive officer and the commander-in-chief. Period. In the story.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, Mr. Thurman, so what would be your long-term plan to strengthen our infrastructure, and how would you pay for that?
We completed during my administration $1.8 billion in infrastructure improvements in DeKalb County, in the water system, the sewer system, and the storm drainage system. We were able to unlock economic development on the south side. Once we completed the improvements, we have now approved over 300 new commercial and residential development projects in South DeKalb. We will take that to Atlanta. Second thing I'm going to do is listen to local leaders. One of the problems with our state leaders is they think they know every doggone thing. They just do. They think they know every damn thing just because they're sitting under the gold dome, and they don't. So one thing, the thing I tell young leaders all the time, the most important characteristic talent you can have is not the speaking, not any of that, but it's the listening. And I want to say to all the local elected officials in this room, I will listen. I know what it's like to sit at the county level and the local level and to have state leaders who are so focused on what they think and they just don't know. Third, y'all give me a hand on that. They just don't know. They think they know. But it's a matter of sometimes walking a mile in your shoes. That's the same thing with public education. We have legislators who are always introducing bills to fix the schools, don't know nothing about schools. I'm going to listen to local educators. I'm going to listen to parents. See, I wish I could tell y'all I had all the answers. I don't. But I tell you what, I'm willing to listen, I'm willing to learn, and I'm willing to go out and get the job done with you. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Ms. Roman.
So right now in Georgia, if your car breaks down, you have no way to get to work. Suddenly, you're now out a car, you got to pay for that car, and you might even be out of a job because now your boss might think you're unreliable. That's not the case in most major cities, even around our own country. That's unacceptable. And so what we need to do, I will echo what my colleague over here said, which is that we do need to get out of the way. Right now, the Department of Transportation has had several projects that were put on hold because the state didn't feel like it was worth investing in. And so that means that our infrastructure continues to fall further behind as we are supposed to be welcoming people, not just from all around the country, but from all around the world. There are places that don't have a single bus line. There are forget trains for a second, right? Like, I mean, that is pipe dream. It's one we need to keep pursuing. But just buses that are reliable, that you know are going to like not just show up on time, but just at least show up. And so what we've seen over the past 20 years in Georgia is that they keep putting this up for a vote for local folks, and then they put their propaganda in there, usually racist propaganda, telling folks don't vote for this because this is what's going to happen to your neighborhood. I don't know about y'all, but if somebody's a robber trying to rob a TV, they ain't using a bus to get away. That's not happening. Like, besides trying to wait, can you imagine just sitting there for 30 minutes with like a stolen TV trying to get away? Like, that ain't gonna happen. But that is actually one of the most important things about the office of governor, is being able to communicate with Georgians and being honest about why these investments are important, not fear-mongering about them, and actually putting the investments needed to make the things happen people need. And I want to be very specific here. Again, I've said this before. We have a really great bond rate. The thing about bonds is you use them, but we get paid back. So this year in our budget, we had an opportunity to leverage some of those bonds and pay for some road infrastructure. That money was money we were going to get back. Instead, the governor and his Republican leadership decided they wanted to use money to take away from the surplus, which is still $14 billion, by the way, and to then spend it on infrastructure. The problem is we're not getting that money back. That's actually a bad way to do it because these are long-term investments. And so I do think that when we talk about how we want to invest, it needs to be in our future. It needs to be in finding ways to relieve burdens on people, because between the insurance costs of a car, between the car payment itself, the gas, and everything else, you're spending so much of your dollars on just trying to get around. You can't even walk to the grocery store like we used to. You can't, we're being disconnected from our neighbors. And so like I said, as governor, in addition to getting out of the way, finding those specific investment projects that will go a long way to easing traffic, to fixing some of those potholes that are wrecking our cars, and investing in some of those bus lines where we know folks could benefit the most and be able to get to work. And for some of our elderly folks too that can't drive anymore, it makes them more independent. They can now get to their appointments without feeling like a burden on their families. And again, as governor, instead of fear-mongering about public transportation, we should be messaging on that and breaking through some of that propaganda.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So I have a question, and then this is probably my last one. But we're gonna start with we're gonna mix it up a little bit, and I want to start with Mr. Thurman. Now I'm kind of pivot on this question. This question is a little bit pivot. It's not really about Georgia, but it's a question for all you guys. It's a two-part question. Mr. Thurman, number one, what would you tell your 18-year-old self? Like, you can go back and talk to your 18-year-old self. What's the one thing that you would say? And number two, when you look back at what you've done throughout your life, what is that the most proudest moment that you can say, you know what, tag, I can't believe I did that. For me, you know, it was a lot of different things, but what would you say to your 18-year-old self, Mr. Thurman? And what is that one proudest moment where you look back at yourself and be like, wow, I accomplished this, or I did this. Can't believe it. And then we'll go back to Georgia.
My 18-year-old self was so insecure because we were poor. My daddy couldn't read or write, lived in a house that was substandard. I just didn't think I was good enough. I just really didn't. And I didn't think I was perfect enough. But then I guess looking back, I would tell my 18-year-old self, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to do the very best you can, however you can, as long as you can. And God don't make perfect people. And so that I struggled with that. I just felt like I wasn't good enough because I thought that, you know, I looked at the people I admired, I looked at the politicians, you know, and I thought they were just perfect people, but that's before Donald Trump. And, you know, didn't you used to think politicians were just perfect people? Yeah, I did. I found out differently.
I never had that.
So what was the second part?
What you accomplished out of your life, where you look back and be like, wow, like, I did that, I accomplished that. Miss Wanda, she's in the front. I like to put her on blast. She's the first African-American woman to own a black paper. Well, it was actually a white paper when she bought it in Douglasville. She sees it as not a big deal, but I do see it as a big deal because before she bought it, other people owned it, and she bought them out. So when you look back at your life, What was that one thing that you'd be like, wow, I did that. I can't believe I did that. Or I accomplished that. Look at your wife looking at you too.
No, it's interesting. I'm sitting in the delivery room at Northside Hospital with a baby girl in my hand. And I said, I did half of it. No, to have a child. I mean, that was it. I mean, what can you do that's greater than to bring a new life into this world? I'm just saying, that was it, because it's something that took me a long time to do. And there were times I thought I'd never be a father, to be quite honest with you. And Zola, y'all give Zola a hand. She played a role in it. Stand up, give Zola a hand. Being a father is the biggest, most important and significant thing, because I love my dad so much, and I always wanted to be like him. And the one thing about him, he was a father. He didn't have no education, but he worked every day of his life, and he did everything he could to take care of myself and my 8 brothers and sisters. And being a father was the biggest thing in his life. He was just proud of that fact. And so that's it.
Thank you.
And I hope Dad is proud of me. So that's it. All this other stuff, to see all this is good. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, it's really about family. It just is. Because the politics, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. You lose them and the people won't call your name ever again. Am I right? You'll just be yesterday's news. But family, I'm just telling you, family is all, that's how you get into the next generation. Now, I'm sorry I didn't answer the political question.
No.
That's all
political
good.
question.
It's all good.
And it was, Mr. Jackson.
Well, it's great that Michael Thurman just endorsed my campaign about families.
I hope 100%. 100%, Representative Jackson.
So I would tell my 18-year-old self, I went into the Navy at the age of 17. Never knew my dad. He left this world not knowing his son. It was his loss. But I went into the Navy at 17. And so I would tell my 18-year-old self that you're about to embark an adventure of service, leadership, keeping God first, everything my mother taught me. See, my mother was born in Waynesboro, Georgia, Burke County, for those who don't know. My great-grandparents were born right here as well. My great-great-grandfather was a slave brought over here from Charleston, South Carolina, into Georgia. And so the values that my mother taught me at the age of 7, I carried into the Navy at the age of 17. And I would tell my 18-year-old self, don't deviate from the plan. Understand the assignment. And when people tell you that you can't, continue to demonstrate where your faith is, where your values are. And so when I went into the Navy as an E1, and I know we got some military members in here, but I went into the Navy as an E1, seaman recruit. And within 8 years, I became a chief petty officer at E7. Typically, it takes 15 to 16 years to do that. But then there was an executive officer on my 8th year, Brother Ricky. He said, Action Jackson, you have the capability of being an awesome naval officer, but I got to tell you something. You're going to submit this package, and 1% of 1% of 1% will make it. So I said, so that's taking a penny, cut it in half, taking the penny, that half of that penny, cut that in half, and then take the penny and cut it in half again. He said, yes, sir. I said, I love those odds. And on the very next year, the Navy made me a naval officer. I don't know if I was number 1 or number 661. But my mother knew that she raised her only son in New York that became a naval officer. And then I went to work of demonstrating who I am and whose I am. So I would just tell my 18-year-old self, You're going to encounter some challenges. Don't get weary. Don't give up, because others are going to be counting on you one day. And so it's a blessing that I have a beautiful wife, and we have a beautiful blend of 7 children, 4 daughters, and 3 sons. And that's what I tell them. Don't give up. A lot of folks are going to count you out. But as long as you stay with him, you're going to be all right.
You didn't say your accomplishment.
Huh?
What you most proud of?
And the most thing I'm proud of is I never had to compromise who I am. I never had to be something that I'm not. I'm authentic. This is who I am. There are days I need to articulate and be a PhD candidate, but there are days I'm going to just let you know you're wrong. And when you're wrong, I'm going to let you know you're wrong. And if you see that I'm wrong, hold me accountable. I would never compromise who I am, and that's what I'm proud of.
Awesome. Rua?
So I grew up in Forsyth County, and that's why every time I say y'all, Ricky laughs at me, so it's fine. And this was actually before Forsyth County became what it is. It's a lot more diverse now, but back then it wasn't diverse at all. And for even more context, I graduated from the same high school as Marjorie Taylor Greene. We are multiple decades apart, so no, we were not there at the same time. I say all that because I would tell my 18-year-old self that every prayer I had would get answered, but at the right time. That not necessarily the time that I wanted, but it was definitely the time that I needed. And that to that 18-year-old self, that every time that I felt really alone or really bullied or really ostracized or whatever the case may be, like I didn't belong, that it would teach me to find the people also feeling that way and building power with them. Because those are the best people to build power with. They're the ones that know what communities need. They're the ones who aren't necessarily at the table but doing all the work while the rest of us are chit-chatting. And so that, to me, is what I would tell my 18-year-old self, is that all of those days where I felt alone, where I felt like I didn't know what the future would look like, where I felt like there wasn't, the dreams that I wanted could never be accomplished, that, especially the ones that didn't happen, I actually got something so much better. And on that same note, the things I'm most proud of, there's actually a couple moments, but there was one moment in during the first Trump administration. I was working for a civil rights group. And we had an armed militia group that was targeting our organization. And so, we were like, let's go, are we kind of counter protest? What's the plan going to be? And instead what we did is we actually worked with local partners and did a food drive, which is, again, ironic considering the timing. But I remember we thought a few people would show up. We thought in this moment of hate that folks were still trying to figure out what they wanted to do. And so instead of wasting our energy on a counter protest, we ended up raising 2 tons of food, literally tons of food. I'm not talking, that's 4,000 pounds of food. And it was incredible. It was a moment in time that really taught me the benefit of not wasting our energy on those that have nothing better to do but to hate, but actually build and invest in our own communities. And the reason that moment I was really proud of myself is that a lot of folks said, this is what we got to do, and I said no. And it was those small moments that built it up to the point that when there was literal national scrutiny on people like me, and when national figures, including Trump's own advisor, comes after me and doxes an event, I can stand before them completely fearless and say, yeah, no, I'm not backing down. And every single time that's happened, every time we've been challenged, all of those moments, I'm deeply proud of them because they've made me the person capable of running statewide in a state like Georgia. So that's what I said.
What, real quick, can we give them a round of applause for being vulnerable, for being so vulnerable? Real quick, Carmelia Gums is here, right? Where's she at? She's here. Come up here in the front. Carmelita. So Carmelita is running for the mayor of South Fulton. She came in real late, or I would have introduced her earlier. But she's the one who have those big signs on Kim Creek. I know y'all all see them. I know y'all all see them. Come on, you right in the front, even though you all late. But give you 30 seconds to introduce yourself and what you plan on doing.
Good evening, everyone. I apologize for me being tardy, but I am Councilwoman Carmelita Gums, and I am running to be the next mayor in the city of South Fulton. I am focusing on strengthening public safety, again, repairing our image, and making sure that we get the proper economic development in our city. There are a lot of great things that are happening in the city of South Fulton that you all need to know about, but you wouldn't know because we have such a negative image. My job is to make sure that we change that, get our people together and run this city. We are the second largest city in Fulton County, 91% African American, most affluent, most educated. We have all of the right qualities to make our city shine. And I'm here to be that one to lead our city. So that is why I am running. So I need you all to go out and vote. South Fulton votes right now. We're not trending well. We need you all out to vote. This election is too critical to sit it out. I need you all to get to the polls. You have until October the 31st for early voting, and then November the 4th. So I need you all out to vote. Again, I apologize for being late. I was at another meeting, making sure that we work on businesses, bringing businesses to the city of South Fulton. So that's what I was doing. So thank you so much for your time. Have a great evening.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Can I take a point of personal privilege for just 2 seconds?
Yeah, go ahead.
We got Senator Kenya Wicks here as well from one of my colleagues from across the hall. Just want to recognize that she's here today.
Get up.
I just, thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you for
welcome.
being here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're going to switch the topic a little bit. So we're going to go into education, and I'd like to start with Mr. Thurman. So as we know, education is the foundation of all types of opportunity. And there's been a lot of changes to education in our state nationwide. And even recently, it was announced that Fulton County Schools is going to cut their budget by $95 million in order to stay afloat to try to keep their operations going. So my question is, how will you prepare Georgia's students and workers for the jobs of the future, and how will education play into your plan?
If you all will elect me as your next governor, I will be the first governor ever to have served as a school superintendent in modern history. So we will have someone who has real experience and understanding of public education in this state. The most important thing we have to do, if you look at the funding formula in QBE, districts received additional money if you're educating students who speak English as a second language. You get extra money if you provide education to children with disabilities. You get $0 if you're trying to educate a child from a socioeconomically disadvantaged home. The educators in this room know that's a greater challenge. We will have a school district, a school system statewide that doesn't just focus on achievement. We're going to celebrate growth. We have educators, particularly in communities of color, particularly those with socioeconomic disadvantages, who do a tremendous amount helping our kids grow from one grade to another, even if they don't receive achievement. And the second and last thing is I'm going to make sure that our young men have multiple pathways to success. If you look inside of Georgia's prisons right now, you and I know the disproportionate number of people who will be incarcerated will be young who? Black men. And see, I thought for many, many years that somehow maybe young black men had some type of genetic disorder. But let me tell you, I did the study when I was labor commissioner. The crime rate for young black men with jobs is the same as it is for young white men with jobs. The crime rate for young Asian men with jobs or Hispanic men is the same as it is for young white men. We got to make sure that we graduate more of our young men from high school, get them into careers, whether it's apprenticeships, whether it's technical college, military is a great, and Representative Jackson represents that, a great career decision. And I guarantee you we will not only improve the education system, but we're going to improve opportunities for our young men. And we will have a prison system that doesn't just focus on punishment, but also on rehabilitation. When I was labor commissioner, we had a program called Top Step. The last 8 months before you exited the system, we made sure you could have a driver's license, a resume, being in the bonding program. Because if you get out of jail and go stand on the same street corner you were standing on before you left, you don't have to go find the devil. He'll come find you. So we got to have a system that gives people, if in fact you're convicted, yes, incarceration, but more importantly, rehabilitation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Mr. Jackson.
So I would take a comprehensive approach. The very first thing I would do is take care of our teachers. There's no reason why our teachers' salaries are ranked number 33 out of 50. And so we will start paying teachers $65,000. $65,000, not a bonus, $65,000 and work our way up. You got to take care of our teachers, but we can't stop there. We got to start making sure that our doors of education do not start at the age of 4. Let's start at the age of 2. Let's start at the age of 2. See, because if we do this right, by the time they reach 3rd grade, that 2-year-old, not only they will be proficient in literacy, that they will have greater aspirations of understanding education. See, learning really starts when that child come out into this world. But when we're looking at the system says, well, we're going to create a lottery. Why are we betting on our children at the age of 4? So if you are born here, as I was sharing with Miss Wanda, no, you got to restart that clock. As I was sharing with Miss Wanda, if you are born here, you should be educated here. And so we're going to start educating our children at the age of 2. We're going to take care of our teachers, and then we're going to look at the entire ecosystem. Cafeteria, bus drivers, everyone that touches our child, part of the public education system, they all should be earning the salary that they desire. And they should retire with dignity. My mother-in-law, she's 75, and she still works. 40 years in education, a principal, and she's still working at the age of 75? That's incredulous. And so let's make sure when we start talking about improving the public education system, let's talk to all 181 superintendents. Let's talk about what do you need in your school district, and then apply those resources and then get out of the way. Because what they need in Chatham County is very different what they need in Muskogee and Doherty. And then third, but certainly not least, we're going to take those dollars that this current government is investing in private prisons. We're going to start closing those doors. There's no reason why we're paying $41,000 a year per inmate, but only $11,000 per child. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. So let's really invest the resources and catch them on the front end. Let's catch them on the front end. Because if we do this right, catching them at the age of 2, when they're still in their developmental years, we don't have to break them when they're 18, 19, and 21. That's how we take care of families, to keeping them whole.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I think y'all listen, they be talking about 5 minutes.
We really don't.
I'm trying to keep y'all honest. I'm trying to keep y'all honest.
I do. My bad. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I cut you off.
All right.
Look, when we talk about education, there's an entire ecosystem. There's the student, the teacher, the parent, and also the community around them. And I do absolutely echo the part about making sure that our QBE formula takes poverty into account, because we're one of, I think, 2 states that doesn't do that. So we're one of 2 states that doesn't have a poverty weight on our QBE formula. And that just simply means that the big bucket of money that we put in and say, this is for education, that formula says, okay, this much of the bucket goes to buses, this much of the bucket goes to food, this, whatever the case may be. That formula has nothing for poverty, not one, not a cent. That's unacceptable. The other thing is, look, a hungry kid can't learn. A hungry kid acts out. A hungry kid is distracted. A hungry kid, by the way, after they eat a meal, takes about another 2 days just to get back to a decent baseline to be able to learn. A hungry kid can't learn. You gotta feed kids. And the reason this matters, I will never forget my first year. We put $6 million in the budget out of a $52 billion budget, and the governor struck it out. Why? God only knows. That is abysmal. That is cruel. Why would you starve a kid in a state like ours? We finally got it back, but every year we got to keep fighting for it. So you got to feed, no hungry kid can learn. You got to make sure that there's a poverty weight in our QBE formula. When it comes to our teachers, yes, paying them better, but also we have a lot of waivers that allow classroom sizes to get way too big. So those teachers get burnt out. That kid isn't getting the attention they need. So then those teachers leave. The Classroom sizes are getting bigger. We need more waivers. And again, another race to the bottom. You can't keep doing that. Our teachers are burned out, and we treat them so badly. The amount of disrespect, I've never seen a profession like education be treated with such contempt in the Gold Dome the way education has. I've never seen it. None of these people, most of the people under the Gold Dome don't teach. Yet they have a lot to say about how teachers should behave and what they should teach and what they should not teach. Again, unacceptable. And last but not least, the family. When we talk about things like raising minimum wage, the reason that the 5 planks of our campaign are the way that they are is that it touches every part of all of our lives. When you raise a minimum wage, a parent doesn't have to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. They can actually raise their kid. The government shouldn't be raising people's kids. I don't want to be involved in people's personal lives. Genuinely. My job as governor is to make sure that you're able, if you're working a full-time job, to be able to make a living and raise your kid and build a good future for them. My job is not to tell you how to do that. My job is not to tell you what values to teach them. That is not my job. That is not the government's job ever. But if we want those kids to be taken care of, we also got to make sure that the parents are made whole and that they can be home. And so that's what I would do when it comes to education, an entire holistic approach that focuses on the schools and the teachers and the students, but also the family to make sure the family can be there for each other.
Thank you, Ms.
And sorry, I
Foreman.
forgot one last thing. To what you said earlier, only 2% of inmates have a college degree. 2%. So that school to prison pipeline is real. And not only that, in our Constitution right now, it is called, it's sort of one of those loopholes in the Constitution that essentially allows for modern day slavery. I've authored a bill to strike that part of our Constitution that says that you can make someone work for free if they're imprisoned. That's slavery by any other name.
So Evan, may I get another 30 seconds? I just want you to
30
go.
seconds.
I mean, you just gave her 30 seconds. I want you to go to legis.ga.gov. Seriously, legis.ga.gov. And you can see all the bills that I've introduced the last 10 years. And if the Republicans would have passed my bills, everything that's being mentioned tonight would have been past tense. When we start talking about QBE formula being updated, because that thing hasn't been touched since 1985. Wow. I added a poverty weight. I did that back in 2017. When you start talking about wages, I introduced that bill back in 2017. And so every year I continue to introduce these bills that help not only strengthen families, and so I don't want to bore you tonight, but just go to legis.ga.gov. You see how I vote, you see the bills that I've introduced, and I'm talking about hundreds of bills. But they do not get any traction because we have a government right now to say, we're not concerned about public education. We're not concerned about increases in wages. We're not concerned about breaking this prison to pipeline. They're not concerned. But I'm going to be ready on day one because I already have legislation at the ready.
Y'all, just to be clear, you should definitely check that out and also tell your friends because you'll see that Democrats have been introducing bills like this and they never get anywhere. So like, it's really important that folks tell each other what's going on because like my colleague said, folks see it as boring, legislative sort of details, but it really matters and you'll see how hard we tried out.
Well, here I go.
Go ahead.
As the superintendent, I actually increased salaries for teachers, but not just teachers. I also increased salaries for bus drivers, food service workers, janitors, everybody in the school system. And you know, it's one thing to aspire for it, but I bring a record of actually having done it. And it was before another time, but legislation passed and now is law that has provided over $300 million in tax relief for senior citizens and working families that was introduced and passed, and you will get money, and you still been getting money on your state tax return from that legislation. Y'all can tell me thank you if you like, but actually you have done it, and we appreciate that. They're in a different environment now, and I acknowledge that. The bills have been introduced, but what I'm telling you is that at the end of the day, I know how to get this job done, and if you are an educator, I know how to go in and change the system and make it work better for our students, our parents, and the men and women. One last thing educators are telling me too is they are afraid for their safety in the school. Is that fair?
Yep.
And I'll just say this. We're not going to have a school system where the employees are fearing for their life trying to educate our children. It's just not going to happen. We're going to ask our parents to stand up and help us. Okay, parents? Is that fair? We can teach the math and the science, but you got to teach Johnny to set his butt down. You just got to do that. I'm just telling you. Is that fair? All right.
All right.
All right. Okay. So
Don't record that.
So
It's already out there.
okay. So last thing I want to say, because we're getting the end of the time. This is going to be our final question, and then we're going to open it up to the floor real quick, take some questions. But I'm asking the candidates, please keep it under 2 minutes, because if not, I'm about to cut you off, because I'm pretty sure people want to talk to you after. So this is going to be the final question, and then we are going to open it up to you guys, for you guys to ask some questions, and let's try to keep it short so we can keep it moving. Anybody can get a fair turn.
All right. Final question. We're going to end on a very big topic, very important topic. So,
2 minutes.
So Georgia still has one of the highest uninsured rates in the nation. So, as governor, what would be your plan to expand affordable health care and across the state, and particularly in rural communities where hospitals are closing? So what would be your plan to expand health care in our state? Let's start with Ms. Roman.
Great. So you'll hear all of us talk about expanding Medicaid. And I want to be clear, that is money that we pay out of our paychecks. It's literally just sitting there. And it's actually one person, the governor, who has made sure it doesn't pass. Because to be clear, this is a bipartisan thing that we all want. It's important. It keeps our hospitals open. It keeps our bills paid. And we're losing out on that money. But I want to be clear, that is step number one. Remember how I said earlier, I want to be able to take some of those bonds and invest in building out research centers in our state that focus on drug addiction research and cancer research. And to be clear, it has happened in other states before. If you look at other states where they now have amazing healthcare centers, they were able to do the same thing, and it created its own taxes and generated its own tax revenue that then helped them reopen hospitals, open new hospitals, and really be able to invest in their folks. And how does that lower insurance costs? When you have a public option, those private corporations now have to compete with a government public option that forces them to lower their costs. Georgia ranks last in healthcare, yet we pay some of the most. I'll be real with y'all very quickly. My aunt was diagnosed with breast cancer, got state-of-the-art cancer treatment in Jordan. She got 5 good years. And I saw those facilities. You know what she paid? There wasn't even a checkout counter. And we can't do that in the United States? That doesn't make any sense to me. No one should be making a profit. Again, you should get your costs back, but no one should be making a profit out of people being sick. I think that's unacceptable.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson.
2 minutes. Health insurance.
I know, health insurance. So I already told you the situation in terms of health care. Health insurance, we have to bring Blue Cross Blue Shield and all these health insurance providers to the table and tell them how they're going to do business in Georgia, period, end of story. What's happening is one individual is scratching the back to another individual, and guess what's happening? But guess what's happening? You're left out. You're left out. I'm just being honest with you. And so we got to be real about this. Look at what's happening at CDC and NIH. Yes, we can expand Medicaid on day one. That's $7.1 billion of our dollars being stuck up in Washington, D.C. because the governor refused to sign. That's number one. And number two, your health care insurance, if they don't do the right thing while we're in this shutdown, the Affordable Care Act will be gone at the end of this year. The subsidies. And you're a family of 4 going from $1,200 premium to $2,200. Nothing changed. The family composition is the same. But just because of what the provision that's in the Affordable Care Act, without that, it's going to be expensive, right? And so what we have to do as governor, what I would do as governor, is to bring all these healthcare providers and make sure that, number one, how are we going to do business for the 11 million And then number two, make sure that Medicaid, Medicare reimbursement rates, I don't know if we have doctors in here, instead of you getting 48 and 60 cents to $1, you're going to get $1 for $1. Because as long as you're opening the doors to Medicaid and Medicare patients, you should get exactly what that Medicaid reimbursement rate is, $1 for $1. Why are we paying you 48 cents to $1? That's wrong. Because if we keep on this road, Evan, guess what doctors are going to do? They're going to stop seeing Medicaid and Medicare patients. And a lot of our veterans, too. So we got to stop playing this game when it comes to health care. And we got to let Blue Cross Blue Shield and Kaiser Permanente and everyone else know if they're going to do right by us, that they're going to have to deal with a Governor Jackson to make sure that the 11 million of us are getting the proper health care insurance that we all deserve and demand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Thurman, 2 minutes.
As your next governor, I commit to you that we will expand Medicaid in Georgia. We will break the log jam that's been in place for decades. I will build a willing coalition of Democrats, Republicans, white folk, black folk, Hispanic, Asian, Christian, Hindu, Muslim. We will build a coalition of people. Because let me tell y'all something. Let me just be clear. Right doesn't have a color. It doesn't have a zip code. It doesn't have a socioeconomic number. We will expand Medicaid in Georgia. If you give me the opportunity, we will ensure that Georgians of all stripes from all over this state, urban, rural, suburban, will have the opportunity to access affordable care. We can get it done. I will get it done because it's the right thing to do. Thank you.
All right. Go ahead. All right. So we want to, that was good. We want to open, you want to say something real quick? Okay, we want to open it up for questions real quick. But before I do, I want to acknowledge a couple people who are here. And if I say your name, can you please come up? And I have a bonus question. Mr. Thurman, I have a quick bonus question. Please, guys, try to answer this question in 60 seconds or less, because we want to open it up and then we want to call it a night and people will probably meet you guys, see pictures with you. But I will start off with Mr. Thurman first. This is a bonus question. He don't know about this.
Do I get like $100 or something? As the bonus?
No, we'll start off with you. And please try to answer this question in 60 seconds or less. Then I want to acknowledge a couple people first. But first, let me ask this question first. If you were governor, how would you handle Hartsfield International Airport right now? It's 4 to 7 hours just to get on a flight. I got a friend that was here. I think he left, Sean, but he has a 1 o'clock flight, and he says he's going to be there by like 7 o'clock. I mean, yeah, 7 o'clock in the morning to make sure he don't miss his flight. And I don't know if the current government that we have is handling the best way. But how would you handle that, Mr. Thurman? And then we'll go to the next you guys. Real quick, in 60 seconds or less.
I got a flight at 12, so I got to go right now.
Okay.
But in the morning, I got to go right now. Yeah.
That's really affecting Georgia.
Well, you know, TSA is a federal issue. There's a shortage of TSA workers. And I'm not sure the governor can directly influence that, to be quite honest with you. That is one of the results of the government shutdown. That's what's going on right now. But let me tell you what I would do about the airport. As the governor, I would help to try to negotiate with the city of Atlanta to make sure Clayton County gets more of the revenue that's being generated by the airport. How about that?
Okay.
Which could help the schools in Clayton, you know. Is that fair, Senator? That is fair. Yeah, that's one of the things I would want to work with the airport, with Delta, with Clayton County, because as we invest in our schools, we're investing in ourselves. And that's just something that the governor can do, and something I would hope to be a party to try to help to negotiate.
Okay.
Senator Wicks.
Okay, thank you. Rua, Hartsfield is the busiest airport in the world, right? Is it the world? And right now, it's busiest, right?
Yep.
And right now, there's a 4 to 7 hour wait.
Yeah.
what would you do if you was governor? How could you help that situation?
So, yes, that is correct. We don't actually have jurisdiction over TSA personnel. Yes, we need to make sure that the revenue goes to the communities that are most impacted by the traffic and movement around the airport. But also, unlike this governor, I won't be hiding every time the federal government does something that's bad for my citizens, regardless of what party it is. Because my job as governor is to fight on behalf of Georgians. And if y'all notice, ain't a peep from Byron Kemp. Where is he? He's currently trying to fix his current problem that he caused with the South Koreans because they're about to take away 8,000 jobs. So that's, if I was governor, I won't be making that kind of mess.
But how would you handle the problem?
But that's what I'm saying is like, in addition to sort of what we talked about, is like so the governor can actually work with the attorney general to sue on behalf of Georgians. So there are ways to make sure some of that funding gets brought back. In fact, we now see other attorney generals suing to bring SNAP funding. We can find similar ways to do that here.
Okay. All right. Derek Jackson?
So the issue is not TSA.
Okay.
The issue that we have at the airport right now, and the reason why we have 4 to 6 hour backlog is the air traffic controllers. The air traffic controller, and I had the opportunity to do that for 18 months in the Navy. As governor, you can hire more air traffic controllers. As governor, the federal issue, but it's a state employee. And so all you have to do is hire more air traffic controllers, and we grow it from the inside out. Listen, I had the opportunity just this week to help a citizen. It was a federal problem, but I got the answer through the state agency. And so we have a parallel with the federal government. You just have to pick up the phone and exercise your voice on behalf of the people.
Okay. All right. Real quick, and then we're going to open it up. I want to acknowledge Jewel Johnson. Come up here, Jewel Johnson. She's actually running for mayor of South Fulton. I want you to introduce yourself, talk about 30 seconds, give us some plans. Also, Nicole Masai, I think she's here. Is Nicole here? Nicole is here? No? Okay, yep, come on. Come on, Nicole. Okay. Nicole is also, I'm a commissioner of DeKalb County. Okay, thank you. Commissioner of DeKalb County. District 3, okay. So, Ms. Johnson, go ahead, and then we'll give it to Nicole. You know your seat is right here, right?
Oh, I didn't know my seat was over there. I'm sorry. That was good too where I was, just listening and watching. Thank you for the opportunity to let you know that I am Jewel Johnson, and I am the woman for the city of South Fulton. I'm the only one that has gotten things done. I have a history of getting the job done, and I've been working for the people for over 30 years. I go as far back as Atlanta missing and murdered children. I've even been down to Capitol for many times, and the CEO here should remember me when he was in the state capitol. That's just how far back I've been serving you. You want to go see something I've done? Go to 285 Cascade Road, all the way to Fulton Industrial. My neighbors and I did that. And I was the president of the Association of West Cascade Communities. I want to do the same thing for the city of South Fulton. These people who running, they just want a job. I'm retired, and I'm self-funding my own campaign. Please vote for Jewel Johnson. Go to jewelforsouthfulton.com.
Thank you.
Great evening, everyone. My name is Nicole Masai, and again, I am a DeKalb County Commissioner, District 3. Actually, the first black woman to actually hold this seat. And I'm here today just, listening and learning like most of you all. Local officials matter, and boots on the ground, right? We are the closest connection to what's going on. And a lot of the dollars, a lot of the initiatives, it filters from federal to state to local levels. So who we elect as our governor, it matters. They have to have the capacity. They have to be able to understand and connect with the people. They have to be able to work with local electeds like myself and know that we need and know what we need. It is so important. So I was very comfortable, Ricky, sitting in the back, not being on the hot seat,
very thankful of that, and not having to, fund my own campaign at this point. We'll see what happens later, but just listening and learning and appreciating the folks coming together because it is that important. This is an unprecedented time in terms of what we are dealing with, and we have to make sure that we have the right folks who understand, not a job, because if folks are coming here for a job, they're coming for the wrong darn thing. I will tell you that point blank and period, but it is here to fill the gaps in need and be of service. Be of service, first and foremost. Be sacrificial and be of service, because that is exactly what we need right here and now. And I will tell each and every one of you, I got 10 seconds to go. We don't have time for anything else right now. So make sure you continue to be involved, be engaged. And I thank you so much, Ricky, and the rest of you all, and all of the gubernatorial candidates for being on this stage right here and right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, as we wrap up, we wanted to give. Are you going to go ahead? Oh, sorry.
Hi, I'm Helen Zenobia Willis with the City of South Fulton. I'm a council member, and I have been a council member for 8 years. In 2026, I will be running to be the next 5th District Fulton County Commissioner. Marvin Arrington currently holds the seat he's vacating, and I will be running for his seat, and I do have his support. And a little known secret about me is I am a native of Savannah, Georgia, and my first job out of Savannah State University was for this man right here. I got hired for the Georgia Department of Labor and worked for the Jobs for Georgia Graduates Program, and moved from Savannah to Statesboro to Columbus to right here in South Fulton. And I live here with my husband. We have a blended family of 4 children, 7 grandkids, and he is a native of South Fulton. Look, I'm running to be your next Fulton County Commissioner because we have a health desert here in South Fulton. We have food insecurity here in South Fulton. And we have one of the largest growing populations of seniors. And our seniors want to age in place, and they need activities. And right now, we're not getting our equal share. And that is the responsibility of Fulton County. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so
And she did good. Y'all know that she did good. I'm just telling you, she did good.
For those who would like to come up and ask a question, I'm just going to say we'll have two questions, 2 concise questions. So we're going to try to, if anybody wants to come up and ask a question, feel free to come up and do that. If not, then
Right up.
all right, we got one question real quick.
They try to do a minute at a time.
No, the meeting come by, I don't have a question, but this doesn't got nothing to do with the running of the governor. I was wondering if, Mr. Thurman, are you related to Howard Thurman, who wrote a book I'm reading right now that's called Jesus and the Disenfranchised? Yes. Are you related to this gentleman?
I wish. Howard Thurman, one of the great theologians, writers of modern history, and he was the person who really inspired Martin Luther King.
Well, he and Martin went to Morehouse at the same time.
Yes.
They were, but I don't know. He was one of Martin's inspiration, but he was also a very smart man. That's all I want to ask.
Well, yeah, but he spells it M-A-N, I'm M-O-N-D. But no, he spells it T-H-U-R-M-A-N, I'm M-O-N-D. So, but my uncle spelled his M-A-N, and my daddy spelled his M-O-N-D. So we could be. Yeah, I'm claiming him. Hey.
All right, go ahead. Next question.
Hi, my name is Danica, and I had a question. For each of you. If elected, what are your plans regarding supportive services for mental health, behavioral health, substance abuse, and developmental disability communities?
And let's try to keep the answers to 60 seconds or less real quick.
Okay, great. So during this past session, we had a Republican senator try to take out $14 million mental health funding, and his exact words were, if somebody wants to kill themselves, it's not my job to stop them. Yes, I think that when it comes to our budget is a moral document, and we need to make sure that those services are properly and fully funded. Like I said, you guys have heard it multiple times here. There's a surplus, but also the lottery that a lot of folks play, we actually keep a ton of money there too, and there's no requirement to spend it. It's just sitting there. So there are ways for us to invest in these different bank accounts that can actually properly, finally fund those mental health services, those services for those with disabilities as well.
Thank you, Danica, for that question. Mental health services falls right into my family category, right? You got to take care of family. And one of those aspects is around mental health. So wraparound services, making sure that every school, high school, middle school, and elementary, have someone in that school that can provide wraparound services. And then I think as governor, what we'll do, we'll partner with nonprofit organizations such as yours, because you're already doing the work. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? We don't have to wait brick and mortar. We have clinicians such as yourself to be able to implement the needs that families are requiring around mental health. I mean, it's such a big topic, right? So I don't want to give you a blanket 360 answer. I'm just going to say, let's partner as governor, and then you do the work, right? Across all 159 counties. That's what we need to do. Make sure those wraparound services are available. And the reason why I'm starting at school, because we're starting to see a lot of children suicide and a lot of isolation. And that concerns me as a dad. And so I'm thinking about what those families are asking for. And they're asking for wraparound services that deals with mental health.
Thank you, thank you.
I invested $12 million in the behavioral health program in DeKalb County. And one of the things we were able to do was deal more with telehealth. That saves money and it expands the opportunity to be able to reach more people. Secondarily, I ran the Division of Rehabilitation Services when I was labor commissioner. We built the new $20 million school at Roosevelt Rome Springs for children with disabilities. It's state of the art. There's nothing like it anywhere else in the state of Georgia. And we built another one in North Georgia at Cave Springs. I learned so much about disabilities when I served in that position. And one of the things I learned is that we need to do more. We need to embrace our relatives. Mental health issues are in all of our families. It's just true. And oftentimes there's no one to call. The primary distributor or administrator of mental health services is your local sheriff. It's the local sheriff. And in the jail, and typically in Georgia, the way you get to mental health services, you have to get locked up first. It's the sheriff in Clayton, the sheriff. You talk to Sheriff Labatt, he'll tell you that. You talk to my sheriff, Melody Mattis, they'll tell you that. That's what has to change. And unless it changes, we're having people locked up, incarcerated, simply because they can't get the medicine and the help that they need. But Georgia has to invest. Look, I'll leave y'all with this. Because if I got to be at the airport 5 hours, I'm going to go. I'm just telling you, I got to go. And I've said this a lot, and Representative Roman, Representative Jack. You know, Georgia has a surplus in the budget, $17 billion, but it has a deficit in its heart because it doesn't care about those who are struggling, the seniors, children who are facing food insecurity. We are going to change that. You can't have a deficit, a surplus in the budget and a deficit in your heart. We're going to create more educational opportunities for 2-year-olds and up. We're going to support our teachers. And look, let me just say this. I'm so impressed with these two people to my right because they tell me that we're moving in the right direction. And I just thank you all for having this. I thank my commissioner who's here from DeKalb County. I thank all the elected officials, my former employees. And look, God bless y'all. I'm going to the airport. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Are you going to the
You should have dropped the mic right there.
Wait.
That'd be the last one. We'll close out.
All right, so hold on, Mr. Thurman. Well, since you have to go, we still The rest of them are here to still answer questions, but we appreciate. Can we get him a last hand? Look here, Mr. Thurman. So, regardless of any of y'all win, y'all fighting for us, right? And this is a way we want to show them our gratitude.
Here
Here you go. We got one more. Thank you. Wait a minute, one more. Hold on. We got one more thing.
More?
Yeah. Because I don't know how you're gonna. So these are fighters just like you. These are fighters just like you. Rua, you are a fighter just like her. You're a fighter just like her.
Oh my God.
And they're a fighter just like you. So can we give it up for them one last time? All right. And y'all can come ask them a question. They'll be here, except for Mr. Thurman. You can come ask them a question, come and talk to them. Thank you guys for being a part of it. And thank you guys for actually emailing me back. Emailing me back. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Everybody have a good night. You can come and talk to them, take a picture.
Wow.
And
Can
highlight
I
them.
just say,
Thank you
this
so
is
much.
a huge honor, and I do not feel enough to be compared to Rosa Parks. What do we?
Yeah, yeah. And we'll be doing more of these. We'll be doing more of these in next year or so. So make sure you respond, Mr. Jackson, Rua. I know.